Good morning, my dear girls. Okay, I'm trying to make a video for you to make it easier for you to understand, okay? Now, I'm talking about dissociation or dissolution of a compound, okay, an ionic compound. Dissolution or dissociation means what? That the ionic compound is going to be separated into ions. If I have, for example, here calcium chloride, it's going to be calcium and chlorine, right? This is dissolution. I am making a dissociation of this compound. I'm making dissociation. It is going to be separated into ions, calcium and chlorine, okay? Now, how to know how many moles I have? Here, how many moles do you have? One. Nothing is written below it, right? Before it, right? So it is only one calcium chloride. Now, when I dissociated it or dissoluted it, I will be having calcium and chlorine. Okay, how many calcium here? 1. How many chlorine? 2. How do you know that you have 2 chlorine or 2 moles of chlorine? Because here I'm gonna look at the coefficient. Here in the calcium, do you have a coefficient here? No, it's not written, so this means it's only 1 calcium, only 1 mole of calcium. Here in chlorine, do you have the coefficient? Yes, I have. How many? 2. This means I will be having 2 chlorine ions, which will mean I can say it in another word, 2 moles of chlorine. Here, if I have sodium chloride, for example, I have 1 mole. How many moles? It's not written here, so it's gonna be 1 mole. Here, do you have a coefficient written here? No, I don't have a coefficient, so it is only 1 sodium, 1 mole. Here, do I have? No, I don't have. This is S, which means solid. This is S, which means solid, and this AQ means in aqueous, ions in aqueous solution. This chlorine also will be 1 mole. Let's take another example here. I have here aluminum sulfate or aluminium sulfate. Here, how many moles do you have? Nothing is written, so it is only 1 mole. Aluminum here, the coefficient of aluminum is 2. So I will be having 2 ions or 2 moles of aluminum. Sulfate is 1 together, okay? I write it as a whole together. How many? What's the coefficient of sulfate? It is 3. So how many sulfate I have? 3. This coefficient, I will write it here as moles. 3 moles of sulfate or 3 ions of sulfate. Okay, so my question here will be, write the dissolution equation of for aluminum sulfate. So I will write aluminum sulfate and try to dissolve it to find the ions. I will be having aluminum and sulfate, but how many? I will look at the coefficient. You see, I will look at the coefficient that I have. So aluminum here, I will be having 2. Sulfate, I will be having 3. Okay, and my second question will be, what is the total number of moles of ions produced? Here, 2 aluminum and 3 sulfate. So so what's the total or the sum? 2 plus 3, they will be 5 moles of solute ions. Solute, which was what? Aluminum sulfate, they become ions. Solute ions, 5 moles. If you have any question, I'm still here for you, honey. Thank you.